Hello, here's my walkthrough for my senior enrichment project. Um, Here's the home page, the landing page. As a user, I can either browse to students or campuses via this or the navigation. If I go to campuses, I can view a full list of campuses. I can see the total number of campuses. The campuses are in alphabetical order. I am able to add a campus, view a campus, or delete a campus. So let's go to view a campus. Here's a single campus page where I can view all the campus information as well as the associated students. I can edit the campus information. I can add a student to the campus. I can also view students um, by clicking on their links. Also hit that again and also delete. So here, let's go back to campuses. I will add a campus. I can either add a campus without doing anything with default information like this. I can also browse back to it, go back to the list of campuses, and browse either using the links or the view button. And I can go back to campuses. I can also delete the campus. So if I go back, there's the delete. Now I can also add a campus, either keep this default image or type a new one in, it doesn't matter. But for now, we'll just keep it and submit. And I can go down here to see my new test campus here. I can go ahead and view it and edit the information and say, let's call it Pluto for now. And we can either edit this however we want by adding in a new image here. Let's make it 252 by 200 and submit. So now this takes a little while to load, but now it's called Pluto and the new image is there. And I can also add a student. I can add myself. My name is Alice at email. And I can also add a new image here if I want to, or leave it as a default. But I'll add a new one. It should add to, I forget what the campus was, but it doesn't pre-populate for this one. So I'll just add it to Galatia and submit. And there is me here, my campus, and I can also delete. But let me go back to campuses, go to Galatia, and there I am. I can also, let's see what else is in campuses. The single page, I can, from the single campus page, I added the student. You can see a list of students, total number of students in that campus in alphabetical order here. I can also delete a student, and that's done. If I go back to campuses, Galatia, I'm also gone. What else? So that's everything for campuses, I think. I can go to add students, view students, and I get a list of all the students. Here I can add a student or view a student here. With all their information, I can jump to their campus or go back to them. I can also edit their information. We'll call them Alice Ventura. I can edit anything or nothing, and it still won't break. The form fields are a little weird, but I handle for that. And we can switch the campus to Terra. So there's my information. I am I'm in Terra Campus now. If I go to Terra Campus, I will see me. If I want to delete myself, I can delete, and then that updates. So if I go here, I'm gone. This is also shows the total number of students in the school, and it's listed alphabetically. What else? I can also delete a student from here. So let's add a random student by not filling anything in and leaving it blank. Maybe we'll change it to IO and submit. And then here in first name, I'll look for the one I just submitted. Here's first name, and let's just get rid of it. And now it's gone. So if I go back to here and then here, first name should be gone. Yep. So in the code, that should be all the functionality. I have my video that will be here soon and a little README file about some of the technologies I use. Here's my code. I left most of the directory structure as is, and worked within that because I wasn't sure how best to break it out. So really quickly, I didn't change the Webpack file. Here's the seed file with the seed information and the package.json. I made the seed command script. Index, I don't think I changed anything besides what I had to change in the package.json for my project name. Under server, let's see, in start, I didn't do much besides add in the Bootstrap route to handle my CSS files. I didn't add in any other extra error handling. Routes I'm not using, API.js is where I do all my AJAX calls and my SQL queries. Here's the query to get all students. It does a find all. It includes the campuses and orders by first name in ascending order. This way I can get this list of students in alphabetical order and also include the campus name so I can use that when I'm displaying the students. Here's my get student by ID query where I use find all and aware, and I also include campuses so I can get the information that is included in the campus, like the campus name. In my add student for my post, I do create to add a new record with all this information. In update, edit, or put, I do a find by ID, and once I find it, I do an update to change the information. In delete students, I do a find by ID and then a destroy. In campuses, I do a get all that includes all the students. So I am able to get a student count and also a list of students by campus to get a student count. In my get campus by ID, I just do a find by ID for the campus. In my get students in campus, it's another call. So I make a separate AJAX call for this to get all the students in a campus, and I return that for a single campus. And in add campus, this adds a new campus record. I do a create. Same thing as the create student. In edit campus, I do also a find by ID and update and do an update. And delete campus, I have some error handling, not on this side, but on the client side. But once I'm able to do a delete, I will use this delete and do a find by ID for that campus ID and do a destroy. In public, I have some styles that I added, not too much. Index.html has the links to the CSS and the styles I created. Node, I didn't add any packages except for I think Bootstrap. In DB are where I have my sequelized models. I didn't really change this. I just changed the force to true every time I needed to clear out the database and reseed. In my models, I have campus, and that has my sequelized models for campus with a name that is required, that's a string, image that's a string that is also required, that comes with a default value. I put in the timestamp here so I was able to create a record without having to put in a now date. My index file, I pull in my models and do my relationships here. In students, my sequelized model is pretty straightforward. I do a validate for is email. I do a default value for the image, an integer for the campus ID, and another timestamps false. Users I'm not using. In app is where I have all my React components. And main.jsx is where I do import all my components so I could use them in the routes. Here's my nav bar with my link tos, my routes with exact paths for some specific students and campuses. Gives me the students list, the campuses list. Students new gets me to the create or update or create new student. Campuses new is create new campuses. Students edit with the student ID also takes me to the same component as my create new, but pre-populated. I just make a new route for it, but point it to the same component, and the component itself handles for the different states. Same thing for campuses. In the students view, it's the students view student ID. So this is for single student view, and this is for single campus view. There's a README and a video page, and this last route handles for anything that should be a 404 or a not explicitly set up here. Store I'm not using because I haven't put in the Redux, so I'm not using the reducers folder. In components, some special things to note. The campus component that gives me a list of campuses is pretty straightforward. I have a state that I use. When the component loads, I do an Axios call to get the campus data, which I will then set to the state. I have a handle click for to delete a campus, which is where I also handle if a campus has students, do not delete. I do an Axios call to see if there are students in that campus. If there are, I do an alert. Otherwise, I do an Axios call to delete, and then I run another Axios call to get the campus information and reset the state so that it re-renders the component. And here's the component information. I put in some styles for inline styles that were quick and dirty. Campus Grid is another format of this page, or Campus Grid is actually where I do all of that. It's just the same page, but with a different layout. So in the render section. So Campus is just a list, a simple list, and Campus Grid is my grid format. Home is just a simple landing page. New Campus is where I do the add or update campus form. Here on the mount, I check if it's a new campus or a campus that I'm editing by using this. by using the props.history.location.pathname. If its campus is new, then the form new equals true. If not, then it is an edit form, and I do an Axios call to get the data to pre-populate the form. In my handle submit is where I do either creating a new campus or editing an existing campus. Either if that variable is true or false, it will do some Axios calls and then do a history.push to change the URL and show me the correct information. And here's where I do the render. Here in the form fields, I'm doing a default value for either if the form is new or if it's needs to be populated. Same thing for student. For new student or edit student, I do an Axios.all call to do 2 Axios calls at once. Then I do a spread to get that information, and I set the state to both objects up here. This has a change and submit. Am I using the change? Yes. I was going to do the handle change to fix what was not working in the populated fields, but I couldn't fix it, so I'm not using the handle change for now. Otherwise, yeah, this handles some stuff for creating a new student. Otherwise, it does a different, it does a put instead of a post, and edits an existing student. Here's the render. I'm also doing the same thing with the form fields where I pre-populate it or put in default values. The root is still the jokes file. That's the file, or that's the component that will handle 404s. Single campus shows the single campus information. Here's the state object. When the component loads, I also do an Axios.all to do multiple gets. And then I do the spread to set the state to both of these objects. My handle click handles a delete on this page. And the render renders all this information on the single campus page. Same thing for students. Nothing too crazy here. It's a little simpler. Student.jsx is where I is the component for the list of students. I just do a get all for a find all once the component loads. I have a state set up here for the students array. I can also do a delete on this page. So on the click on the delete button, I have the delete Axios call, and once that's done, I do another get to get the students' data. I do another find all for students, and then reset the state up here so I can re-render the component with the latest information. And that's pretty much it. I don't know what else there is, but yeah, so you can also git clone this and run through all the npm install stuff and get this running on your local computer by cloning this down, following the instructions. I updated the README file to include running the seed while npm start is running in order to seed the database and get it running on localhost 1337. All right, thanks.